Hello, all. Okay, so this week, let me start off by saying yesterday was my 20th birthday. I had a lot of fun. It was great. Don't really feel any different. You kind of do on your birthday because it's all about you and people are making a big deal and you're just like, woohoo. But now I'm over it and it's over with and I'm done. But I'm 20 now. I'm officially out of teendom, so I'm very excited about that. Um, Turned in my first English essay. Don't know how I did on that because I just put way too much pressure on myself all the time to do like a perfect job, and I don't really uh, do well with anything less than a A. So fingers crossed, hoping, praying that it is nothing less than an A. But if it's not, I'll take a B. Um, Other than that, everything's going pretty swell. Just writing away and making plans for different things and hanging out with my friends when I can and just living life. But the purpose of this video is actually because I get a lot of questions, which is originally what my YouTube channel was for. I get a lot of questions about my chair and what it's like living with a wheelchair. And one of the questions that pretty much covers it is, what is it like living with a wheelchair, in a wheelchair? And I just want to answer that because I feel like I've never really answered that like straightforward, straight on. And I want to just answer that for all of you who ask. And by the way, I don't mind anybody asking. It's perfectly fine. I don't care. I understand. I know. I would rather have you ask than make assumptions. Um, so the question is, what is it like living with a wheelchair? You know, and if you hear a clock in the background, we have like 85 clocks at my house, so they all go off at the same time. Just ignore them. Living in a wheelchair, I think there's two categories of people. There are the people that think it's the coolest thing ever, that I get to sit on my ass all day and not have to get up and walk around and run. Some of those people are ignorant. And then there's group B, who really just don't get any of it, don't understand it, want to understand more, and want to kind of empathize and feel what I'm feeling. Which I like that group of people because I like to educate people and help people understand. But the truth of the matter is, you're never going to understand how I feel, how anybody feels in a wheelchair, whether they be paralyzed, whether they have muscular dystrophy, whether they have spina bifida, cerebral palsy, they're quadriplegic, you will never be able to, if you are a person that is walking and that is in perfect condition, in perfect health, it's very, very hard to understand unless you have a family member. It is very hard, even then, really, though, from the people that I've experienced. It's very hard for certain people that I talk to, when they say, I know how you feel. No, you don't. There are so many different struggles and so many different challenges that I face on a day-to-day basis every single day of my life. And like little things, trivial things, not even big things. I can't wear high heels because my ankles don't stay together. I can't stand in heels because my one foot turns to the side. It's really disgusting. Actually, if you see it, just look away if it grosses you out. I can't wear heels because my one foot turns to the side. I have to have a certain type of shoe. I usually only wear boots, and the tennis shoes that I do wear have zippers on the side because I'm not good at tying my shoelaces. What else is there? Showering. It's not just, get in the shower and stand up to a bar and hold on to it and shower. No, I have to sit in a chair, get in a chair, sit in a chair, wash myself off, hold the thing that washes me with one hand and hold onto a bar with the other. I have horrible balance, so transferring from chair to chair is a bitch because I have a definite fear of falling, and it's completely horrible. I wouldn't wish it on anybody because it's, quite frankly, debilitating. Those are just small things. One of the things, and part of the reason why I decided to make this video, is I have wonderful friends who I've mentioned in many a video, and they are in this one, so I want to mention them again. Kendra, McKenna, and Megan. They're pretty much my core group of friends. I literally am so blessed to have them because living in a wheelchair and facing these struggles and overcoming different obstacles and seeing my way through different challenges would not be half as fun and half as entertaining without them. Because there are times where I will text them and I will just go on a rampage and I will vent about what I can't do. I can't do this, I can't do that, I can't do that. And they remind me all the time that no matter what, they're here to stay. And that's one of the things that doesn't make it so hard, but on the flip side of that, they are making plans to do things, and I go out with them all the time. I go out with them. We go shopping. I spend money that I probably shouldn't spend. I go shopping with them. We go and we talk, and they are just the most fantastic people you will ever meet in your life. Your argument is invalid, so just and it's a lot of fun because I feel normal. There is no chair. There is no, leg pains. There is nothing like that. It's just me and my friends. Or my friends and I, sorry. But going back to the opposite end of the spectrum, they make plans to go places. For instance, Big Bear. For McKenna's birthday. Okay, sorry. I had to say that loud. But they made plans to go to Big Bear. And being 20 and turning 20 and really realizing who I am as a person more and more and more, and realizing that I'm not a teenager anymore, so I can't use the same teenage excuses that I normally do, I realize that there are sacrifices that I have to make, and bigger sacrifices than when I was little and I didn't want to go over to somebody's house for a sleepover. I am much more inclined to believe that as I get older, those sacrifices are just going to start mounting up, at least for now. And one of those sacrifices is the fact that they planned a trip to Big Bear. And I really, really wanted to go. And I still really, really want to go. But to be quite frank with all my followers, Because y'all know how I like honesty and I like to be honest with all of you. I have a bladder problem, and that causes me to pee my pants. And it has to do with my cerebral palsy. I have medication for it, and I take all the necessary precautions, but sometimes my body just says, screw the medication, screw the precautions, I'm just gonna, pee is just coming out. It's like a stream. It's embarrassing, especially as I got older. When I was younger, like 5 or 6, I didn't think anything of it. But as I got older and I got into high school and I peed in the girls' locker room of my gym, and all the girls were walking in to the gym and saw it. Although I think they were so consumed with themselves, I don't think they really thought anything of it, and if they did, they didn't say anything, so shout out to them. Part of that whole experience was understanding that it's gonna be embarrassing. And it is. It is embarrassing. It's sad sometimes to have to realize that there are things that you cannot control, and this is one of them. And with this Big Bear trip, as much as I'd like to think that I'm ready, and I want to say to myself, you know you're ready, you can do this, because that's what I say to myself all the time. My body tells me otherwise. And it sucks. It sucks. That's one of the hardest things, if you really want to know. One of the hardest things about being in a wheelchair is there are things that are beyond your control that you can't fix right at the present time. So you have to hold out on certain experiences and hold out on certain trips. And I don't want to say that peeing my pants is a fear, but then I would be lying, because at certain points it is. I'm not going to lie to you guys. At certain points I look at going out with my friends for a day. And I go, okay, what's going to happen if this happens? What's going to happen if this happens? They could give a singular you-know-what. What happened if I peed my pants, they would help me handle it. But it's still in the back of my mind something that I have to think about. And part of being in a wheelchair, one of the things that kind of sucks about it is you have to think about these things. You're constantly thinking about when you get into somebody's car, or if somebody's coming to pick you up if you don't drive like me. How big is their trunk? What is their trunk space like? What is their back seat like? Or do they mind me sitting in the front seat? What kind of car do they drive? And I have to ask all those questions before I go out. And I myself am fortunate enough that I have 3 of the best friends that I could have ever asked for in my entire life. And they just put a smile on my face. They remind me of everything that is good in my life when I focus on the bad and I focus on the negative. And that offsets the hardships, and that offsets the fact that, yeah, you know what? I'm not going to be able to go on a trip to Big Bear. Yeah, you know what? I'm not going to probably be able to go on a 24-hour Disneyland day thing, which I probably wouldn't want to anyway because Disneyland annoys me after like 10 hours. But that's what it's like being in a wheelchair. You have to face these facts, and you have to face the music, and you have to understand that, okay, you know what, I'm not able to do this, but I am able to do this. Okay, maybe today I'm not able to do that, but I will be one day. And one day I will be able to go to Big Bear with my 3 friends and however many other people, and I will be able to go. And I will be able to have fun, and I will be able to have a good time. But the thing is right now, it's just not happening for me right now. And at first, when I realized that, I had a hard time coming to grips with it. I was really, really angry. I texted my friends, and I was like, I wish that this didn't happen. I wish. But then I realized that there are moments in my life where I do have those feelings, where I do sit there and I do feel sorry for myself, and I throw a pity party of one for myself, and I think to myself how easy it would be if all this disappeared. And then I think to myself, but then I wouldn't have my speeches, I wouldn't have my book, and I wouldn't have met I meet new people every day, and they are so amazing to me, and I love them to death. All of you that are watching this and that are following my blog, I love all of you to death, probably more than you could ever imagine. You guys are amazing, and you are the reason why I do this, and why I write the blog, and why I post on Instagram and keep you guys updated, is because you guys are my strength and when I am weak. All of you. Every single one of you. The support system that I have in all of you is just insurmountable, and I could not be more grateful. And that is probably, in finishing up the question of what is it like living in a wheelchair, it has its ups and it has its downs. That's definitely for sure. The downs, when they're down, they're down. The ups are that I meet so many amazing people along my journey, and I've met so many amazing people, and I continue every single day to meet at least one person that changes my life completely, and I'm so happy to have 3 of them that I talk to constantly and that are there for me and that laugh with me and cry with me and just are 3 of the most amazing people you will ever meet. I'm so thankful for them, and that is what makes the not being able to go on trips because I pee my pants, not being able to wear heels, not being able to take regular showers, not being able to drive quite yet. That's what makes having friends and having a purpose and having something or someone that makes you happy to get up in the morning. That is what makes it all worth it. That is what continues to make all this worth it for me, is all of you, and the fact that you guys are a constant support system for me. And everyone that I talk to always says, "Oh, you inspire me so much to be a better person, to go out and do, bigger things and better things." Thank you. But you're doing that for me. And that's what it's like living in a wheelchair. Like I said, it has its ups and it has its downs. And I have moments where I get really, really, really frustrated and I get really, really down on myself. And I ask myself, why is this happening? Why can't I do this? Why can't I do that? But I wouldn't be the person that I am today without my chair. And I'm so thankful for it at the end of the day, for affording me all these wonderful opportunities that otherwise I don't think would have been possible or fathomable. Sorry. So that's what it's like living in a wheelchair. It ain't easy, but it ain't hard either. It's a whirlwind of crazy. Health concerns, roadblocks here and there, obstacles to overcome, challenges to face. But in the end, it makes you a stronger person, and it makes you a better person. And I don't know, I'm so grateful that I get to do what I love. And while, I'm young and I get to do what I love and be with people that I love, and yeah, it's a wheelchair, so what? It's got me for life and I have it for life, so I might as well, love it. And I do, no matter how frustrated I get. Especially with the Big Bear thing. I got very frustrated. But I hope I kind of answered your question. I kind of rambled a little bit, but living in a wheelchair isn't easy like people say. It's not all sitting on your butt and doing nothing and eating bonbons and having people do things for you. It's a series of challenges and obstacles and tears and laughter and joy, but it's all worth it in the end. And it's been worth it for me. And I have a fantastic support system, and I wouldn't trade any of the frustration, the the annoyances and the ridiculousness of it all for anything, because this is my life and it's beautiful. So thank you for asking, all of you who asked the same question, and I hope I answered it. And thank you for following along with my blog and being such a great supporter and reminding me of why I do what I do and why I have to keep the faith. Bye, guys.